JJV The Storyteller, and I'm back at you to tell stories. A couple of my friends gave me feedback, unsolicited, about what I should do. So if my lips look greasy, that's because one of my friends said you're licking your lips too much. So hey, it's not greasy anymore. I mean, it's not dry anymore. Um, Again, this is Random Thoughts from JJV The Storyteller. I promised I would read some excerpts from my new book, Can't Nobody. Check out the hands. I created the artwork myself. Um, so I'll do that later, but I said I would also talk about things that, random things that came up during the course of the day. Well, this morning, woke up and everybody was talking about POTUS and his ability to tweet. And POTUS, President of the United States, has his own Twitter account. Obama, can you just give me maybe 5,000 of your people? He hit 1 million followers in under 5 hours, I believe. I can't even get three. But maybe one day I'll be as famous as he is. But it just got me thinking about the internet in general. We use it for almost everything. We get instantaneous communication. We find out what's happening around the world really quickly. Um, Kids are on the computer, whether they're playing games, whether they're talking to their friends, whether they're doing tweeting, Facebook, Pinterest, whatever else that is out there. Because believe me, I do not know all of the different sites. I am just trying to get internet savvy right now. But what happened like in the old days, like before there was TV? I kind of wonder about that. Did people like sit around and just talk to each other? Did they entertain each other? Did they sit around in the living room? And I kind of remember my grandmother. We had a TV, but I kind of remember my grandmother. The elders would come over and they would sit around. Of course, they would talk, and I didn't understand anything they were saying because they talked Creole. I don't know whether that was because that's what they were comfortable with, or some of them didn't know English, but they sat there and talked Creole. And I'm like, what the heck are they saying? But they sat there and laughed and talked. And I said, the human form of communication is taking away the computer. And that's a really interesting thought. And like during the evenings, what did they do? Did they like talk to the kids? Ooh, that's heavy. Um, when's the last time you sat around the table and had a dinner with your kids? Like during the week? um, I think I tried to have dinner with my kids. I guess they'll let me know. But we did eat out a lot, but it was healthy food. We did, but sometimes my kids would say, "So, Mom, are we having Chinese, Mexican, Italian, Indian? What do we have in the day?" But I did try to cook, and I tried to make balanced meals. And when we went out, I made sure they had balanced meals. It was like no McDonald's or Burger King. But just sitting around the table with the kids and having a great dinner, or I guess family. I mean, I know members are everywhere. Families dispersed. Some are soccer practice, some at football practice, whatever else is going on. But I don't know. I just wonder what it was like. I'd love to go back in time and check out those days compared to these days. And then I think about this time and think about what will it be like 20,080. We're in 2015. Wow, how fast will information pass then, and what will people be doing? I think about even like soap operas. I remember going to school. We all used to gather at Cal State University, Bakersfield. We all used to gather and look to see. I think it was All My Children we were watching back then, but we like a big group of us looking at All My Children. I don't think that happens anymore. People are like, everyone's on their computers, they're on their phones, their smartphones, looking at the smartphones, seeing the messages. It's amazing just to watch people at dinner, out at dinner, not talking to each other because they're on their phone. People, put away the phone. At least, maybe after you see my little recording. Put away the phone. Let's go back to human interactions and communications. Okay, with that being said, I'm taping this for you, and I expect you to watch this, right? Um, okay, I'm just gonna tell you a little bit about Can't Nobody. I hope I'm speaking louder because that was another. I gave myself that criticism. I could not hear the videotape. So hopefully I'm projecting my voice louder so it can be heard. But Can't Nobody, I was inspired to write this book. Quit my job, inspired to write this book. Inspired by, yes, my Heavenly Father. Um, but it's a book about a young girl that experienced a lot of drama, um, traumatic experiences. I don't know what to call it in her life. I mean, people around her dying. She didn't know who her parents were. Um, there was always something going on. I mean, she lived in the hood. I mean, there's killings. There's, just lots going on. Kids starving, etc. But my main character, Portia, was like, there's no way that there could be a God and he allowed things to happen to innocent people and good people. She lived with her Aunt Hattie, who was a Christian woman and went around the home singing all the time, singing all these gospel songs. Portia would do everything in her power not to just cuss her out and tell her to shut the hell up. Okay, straight up. That's the way Portia was. Like, Aunt, come on now. I don't want to hear that song again. But one of her aunt's favorite songs was Can't Nobody Do Me Like Jesus. So that's the reason for the title, Can't Nobody. And there's some other characters that I'd like to tell you about at this time. Perhaps we will get a surprise visit from one of the characters the next time I talk to you about Can't Nobody. But there's Mystery, which is Portia's cousin, who's, I believe, 11 years older than her. And there's Tyrese Gamble. Those are my main characters. There's some other characters that within this book that you will read about and you will find out about and you probably grow fond of. But those are primarily the main characters in book one. This book is a 4-part book series, which is called let me get it right, a tetralogy. Everyone's used to a trilogy. That's a 3-part, but I wrote a tetralogy. The second book is called The Du Bois Curse, and it should be out in about after we do well on Can't Nobody. So please go out and purchase your copy of Can't Nobody by JJV The Storyteller. Well, I think that's about it for this session, but I'm looking forward to coming back to you with a lot more. Peace.